Hello all. In this session, we are going to start with the pandas. We are going to understand the pandas library that is provided to the Python. Now, what exactly is pandas? How exactly is pandas is going to work? Let us understand in this session. In this session, we're going to understand about the basics of pandas and basic operation that can be performed on the pandas data structures. Before we understood NumPy completely, right now this is the time to explore the pandas library, which is going to be yet another powerful tool which is provided to the Python programmers. Now, exactly what is this pandas? Understand. Now, the pandas simply pandas is going to provide you with two data structures. What are those two data structures? The first one is a series, and the second one is a data frame. What do you mean by series and what do you mean by data frame? Simple. A series is just like a column in your Excel sheet. If you do remember, when you create an Excel sheet, there will be a column. Now, if you do have only one single list to be created, and when you want to visualize and when you want to perform some operations on that list, rather than creating a list by using the Python, we can directly go for the pandas. We can use the pandas, which is a powerful tool on which we also will be able to perform some operations by which we will be able to manipulate the elements of in this list. Okay, so we will have something called a series. We'll have something called a series, and the second one is the data frame. What is a series? Series just looks like this. When you create a series, you just can visualize the series just like a single column of elements. This column will contain the elements that you have created. In addition to the elements that you have created, each and every element is going to be indexed by default by the pandas framework. The pandas framework, for an example, you just have created a list such as Anil, Sunil, and there are several names that you have created. For each and every element in the list, pandas is going to append an index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Now, this is just simply like a column with an index. Okay, now what is the second data structure that is being provided by the pandas? Second data structure that is being provided by the pandas is the data frame. What is the data frame? The data frame, unlike a series, it is going to provide you, I mean, by using the data frame, we will be able to create a table of elements in which there will be several rows and several columns. Each row is going to depict a record, and each column is going to depict a feature. For example, each rows are, let us say, the roll numbers, or rows are the specific persons. Columns are the features of the specific person, such as roll number or color or height. Likewise, it just looks like this. Now, if you want to visualize the data frame, it just looks like this. Okay, this is your data frame. This is your series. Okay, this is how. This is what these are what the data what do you call the data structure that is being provided by the pandas structure, pandas data structures. Now, why do we require to use the pandas is the next question. First of all, we should be able to handle the data sets, right? See, in data science, of course, you already have seen the essence of handling the large data sets. When the data set size is large, the regular conventional tools such as our Excel and the other tools are not sufficient enough, are not efficient enough to handle them, because data sets have to be handled. We already have seen how we will be able to deal with the missing values, how to handle the outliers, and these features cannot be provided by the other tools such as Excel. But when you talk about the pandas, pandas is a powerful tool that is going to include all the features that actually are required to handle the data sets, perform for the data cleaning, filtering, and the transformation. This is what we discussed. We'll be able to clean the data, find out the missing values, replacing the missing values, imputing the missing values, handling the outliers. All such operations can easily be performed by the pandas tools. Easily read and write the data from into the files like CSV, Excel, and databases. Here, one more thing is you don't directly need to create the data set. You don't need to create anything. Rather, you already you can directly use the data sets which actually are available in various other formats such as CSV. You directly can import the CSV file that you already have, and you directly can import an Excel file that you already have. You already can the database what you already have can directly be imported into the pandas. And now let us directly see how to create the data frame in pandas. The first of all, already I have just told you what is a data frame. Data frame essentially is a table with a rows and columns. Let's understand how this table will get created. The table, when you want to visualize, you will have some rows. Each row is going to give you a record. Okay. Each column is going to give you what? Sorry. Each row is going to give you a record. Each column is going to give you a feature. Okay. You know the data set. You don't you know? So now, first of all, we should be able to import a pandas by using the import keyword. We'll use pandas as PD. Of course, PD is an alias name. Rather than accessing all the functions of pandas through the PA and DAS keyword, that PD is going to replace the pandas keyword. So how do we do it? Creating a data frame from a dictionary. You know what is a dictionary? Dictionary is just like already in a NumPy, sorry, in a Python, you'll be able to create the dictionaries in which there is a key, there is a value. Now, the data frame can directly be created by using a dictionary. How? I just have created data. Okay, this is the dictionary. Data is not a data frame, rather dictionary. What I'm creating here, name, age, and city. Okay, so in the name column, there is Alice, Bob, and Charlie. In the age column, there is 25, 30, 35. And the city column, there is New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. These are the features. These are the values. Now we just have created a dictionary with the name of data. Data is the identifier of the dictionary. Now, what you can do is you just directly pass this dictionary into the data frame. What you can do, I can say df is equal to pd.dataframe. Data frame is a function through which you'll be able to create a data frame directly, or you also can import the already existing data frame. Now, what is this data frame that we do already have right now? We have a dictionary. That dictionary is imported and will be transformed into a data frame by the data frame function. Now, finally, it will be passed to an identified data frame. Now, this dictionary data has actually been converted to the data frame. Now, earlier it was just simply a dictionary. Now, it just is a table. It just framed your data frame. You know what is a frame? It just is going to, Panda framework is going to create a frame for your dictionary. Now, when you want to see the data frame output, you just can say print a data frame. When you print a data frame, how it is just going to look? It just is going to look at this way: name, age, and a city. Now, in addition to what you just have created, it also by default indexes, okay, all the records. This is the first record, second record, third record. You'll also be able to retrieve the records by the indexes. Okay, the index is 0, 1, 2. Since you just do have only 3 records, for each of this record, I do have 3 features. Okay, for each of the record, I have 3 features: name, age, and city. The next thing is, we also will be able to create from the list of list. Now what I'll do is, I just will create a list of list. Now what is this data? I just have created 3 lists here. Okay, alias 25, this is first list, second list, and third list. Now all these 3 lists can be appended into data. Right, then what I can do? I just want to define the column names. What I'll do is, I just will say columns is equal to name, age, and a city. So what I did right now, I just am creating column names. For that, what I did, I simply said columns. Okay, columns is the identifier for the columns that I want to create here. Now, how to create the columns? Simple. You just need to use the angular brackets, right? In which you just need to specify the column names by enclosing them in the double quotations: name, age, and city. You just have created 3 columns for that. Now, how would you be able to pass this list of lists into the data frame? Simple. You should say pd.dataframe. Now, data. What is the data that you created? Data is the list of the list. All this list will be passed into, all these 3 lists will be passed into the data frame. It will be about to be transformed into the data frame. But in this data frame, I would like to use the columns. What are the columns? The first one is the name, second one is the age, and the third one is the, what do you call, the city, right? So I just appended one more thing, one more parameter into the data frame, that is columns. Now, what you did is just you have created a table. For that table, you have created a few columns. So how it just looks like, obviously it will print name, age, and COLOUMS columns. So right then in the name, you will get Alice, Bob, and Charlie, and the age column 25, 30, 35, and the columns, name, age, the city. Bigger pardon, it should be cities. It should be cities. Okay, so Alice and Bob and Charlie here 25, 30, 35 here, Chicago and Los Angeles, and followed by again New York, whatever. Okay, this is how your data frame is going to be listed out. But I just interchange it. But initially, it should be printing New York followed by Chicago. But I just interchange it. But nevertheless, you should understand here. We'll also be able to create a data frame by using the list of lists, for which you just have created some column names. Okay. Now you also directly can import a CSV file. Already we have had a CSV file created. That CSV file directly can be imported. So what you did is, for that, what you just need to do is, there is a function called read underscore CSV. Read underscore CSV function is used to read a CSV file. Now then, you should pass the file name with the correct path name also. Okay, so this path name and the file name will be transformed as a data frame. Okay, the data frame name is DF. Now, next thing is, we also will be able to manually create a data frame. How? See, the thing is, if it is already there, the better choice is to import a data frame from Excel sheet or CSV. Likewise, you're also able to download Excel sheet, but at that time that will be example.xls. Okay, at that time the function will be read underscore Excel. That is one way. Already importing the already existing files. Next thing is, you'll also be able to create a data frame directly by yourself. How? What you need to do is same function. In the data frame function, framework is, the syntax is, you need to start with the curly brackets, right then, flower brackets, right then, you just need to say column name. In the column name should be enclosed with the quotations. Right then, you just need to specify the colon. After the colon, in the angular brackets, you should specify the columns, that is the value that you want to put. But here, you should obey to the rules of the data structure. Here, what is the name? Name is a string, right? String must be enclosed within the quotations. You should say Alice, which is again in the quotations, Bob, which is again in the quotations. Similarly, age should be in the quotations, the column name should be in the quotations, colon. And again, since the age is a numeric data type, you just can directly specify. You don't need to encode them, encapsulate them in the quotations. Similarly, city. What is a city? City is a string. String should be enclosed with the the quotations. Now, what the basic operations can be performed, we are going to understand in the next session.